Welcome to We've Been Drinking MMA podcast. I am Curtis, and I'm here with...
This is Ro, back in.
And we are talking about the UFC 50 in Nashville, right? ESPN 50 at Nashville.
UFC on ESPN 50. Here we go. Sandhagen Font.
Sandhagen Font, yep. And
Nice.
the first fight on the main card is Ignacio Bahamondes. I'm just going Nacho and versus Ludovic Klein. I am going Nacho by decision, and I have a lot of interesting things to think about that. But I'm going to let Ro start on a spiel here. And
I mean, I'm going in a close fight, Klein by decision as well. So the way I'm going to bet it is just go, it's going the distance, all 3 rounds.
Is the reason because the Klein is your pick is because his grappling and wrestling, or is it because of his striking in general?
Yeah, I mean, like, he does throw good combos on the run, which I like, but he is a late starter. First round, he usually is feeling his opponent out, and then he starts ramping it up towards the second and then more in the third. So I'm afraid that he's going to get started too late trying to throw, and the other guy, Nacho, is 8 significant strikes landed per minute. Klein is only 3. So, Nacho has it kind of, he's a faster guy, faster starter. Klein has the takedowns, but like I said, the kicks, the quickness, the strike count for Nacho is a little dangerous to just have me just bet Klein by decision. That's why I'm just saying I'm going to go bet the fights go in the distance all 3 rounds.
Well, the reason I'm thinking Nacho is because his height and his length. He's 6'3", and I just want to bring this up because it's your guy. Your guy, Ludovic, even though I like him, he has a tremendous power. Mm-hmm. He has takedowns. He is probably more all-around MMA fighter. Yeah. But he's 5'7". Mm-hmm. So 6'3", kickboxer versus 5'7". I'm thinking like this 6'3" guy is going to be able to keep his range and be able to get his kicks off. His striking, like he's going to feint a jab, throw a kick, like Gaethje did versus Poirier last week, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. Such a good fight.
Gaethje's a legend.
Did you see that fight, by the way?
I
did you see the highlights though?
I saw the kick and I saw
wasn't that an amazing kick? Like he feinted that jab and threw that high kick.
I mean, like, we're not gonna like harp about it, but listen, I know some people say like Gaethje, he keeps getting title shots, but like, hey, I think
some people deserve what they get.
I think he should get a title shot.
Some people deserve what they get
with a fight like that.
Yeah. But like, I think that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna feint whatever punch he has because he has a little power. Nacho. He doesn't have crazy power. But like. He needs his kicks.
He can hit you enough. He can kick you enough to keep him off him and keep him in distance, right?
Because that 6'3" is going to matter.
It matters, and 3-inch reach advantage matters in a fight like in a close fight. These are the types of things.
Especially with kicks.
Yeah, especially with a guy who's really good at spinning back kicks and things like that. Yeah, I have to agree. And the strike count and the reach and the kicks.
But Klein is a dog, though.
Klein's a dog, and that's why I feel
I don't think he's going to get knocked out.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it's going to be closer. And Nacho is a minus 200 favorite, $200 to make 100. So Klein is the dog here, and that's why I go, Nacho has all these physical attributes, the distance control with the kicks, all these attributes and these things that can make it a tough fight for Klein, because Klein is 5'7" and he's got 3-inch reach disadvantage, but. There's things that Klein can do. Klein can punch on the run, whereas Nacho doesn't really punch on the run. Nacho likes to kind of like counter a little bit more and go.
Klein likes to set up people because of his stature.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows how to do his thing.
Yeah, but I also am afraid because Nacho has a faster starter and Klein's a slower starter. So all these factors make me think that it's going the distance. It's a close fight. I might edge towards Klein a little bit, but Nacho should be the favorite. I mean, so it's a close fight. Nacho could easily win it and probably does win it, but I feel like I think listen, if Klein by decision is like plus 400, I'll put maybe a tiny bet on it, and then just the distance is maybe hopefully plus 110 or something like that, and then hopefully make some money on that. But if it is like the distance bet going all 3 rounds is like minus 150, I'm like maybe that. If it's like minus 200, maybe not, and then type of thing. So if it starts getting too pricey, then maybe just do a small bet on Klein by decision, and then or just let it go. So
yeah, it could be a dogger pass for sure.
Dogger pass,
but maybe. Like Klein's attributes, like he does have takedowns. He can take people down.
Yeah.
In fact, he has over a takedown a fight. Like if he gets him within the distance.
Yeah, he's a good athlete.
Like if he gets in that pocket and he's able to throw some strikes and get him down, like that wouldn't be impossible.
And it's another reason why it probably goes the distance, because he probably is, he's gonna go for takedowns, mix in the takedowns, and he's not gonna do a ton of damage, but he can mix in the takedowns. That's another recipe for just wasting time.
Yeah, but I just see Nacho's range and his height being a factor for Ludovic. So I think Nacho by decision is the way to go, and you think Ludovic.
Yeah. Ludovic. Yep. And also Nacho's 25, young, so he's getting better every fight. So it's another. And also, just his record is pretty cool. I mean, it's like his last fight was a decision, but listen, he's had the fight before that submission, fight before that KO. Fight before that, split decision loss. Fight before that, KO. A lot of. He's got 3 finishes in his last 5 fights like that. So it's, he can be dangerous. He's getting younger. I mean, sorry, he's young, so he's gonna improve from fight to fight. What if he just comes out and just does his thing and just really makes the strike count high and just overwhelms Klein, with the volume and everything. Then
so Nacho money line.
Yeah, and then Klein has to go shoot for takedowns and barely survive in the fight. That could easily happen, and Nacho is like a minus 500 favorite in reality.
But you don't see a submission happening here.
Nah. I don't think so. I think Klein is more of a guy who just likes to throw some combos and then get some takedowns here and there. I think Nacho likes to keep distance, and then if you want to come in recklessly, then he can knock you out type of a thing, because he's got the good.
He has some throws in there for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're relatively smart, I think Klein to me seems like more of a smarter fighter. Meaning
all around.
He doesn't just come in and rush in the first round. You know what I mean? And that's why he, even if he does get finished, he gets finished in the 3rd round. He got finished by Nate Landwehr 4 fights ago in the 3rd round. He can. He looks like a guy who is smart. He's going to start slow because he's feeling out his opponent, so he's not going to get finished in the 1st round. 2nd round, he ramps it up a little bit, tests you out. 3rd round, might have to go for a little bit more. But he's a guy who it makes sense that that it's going to, if he wins, it'll be by decision against a guy like this who's rangy. And if he loses because he's got the wrestling, because he's smart, he's not just going to get finished like a moron. So, I feel like distance is it.
Yep. Thanks for listening, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment. We like that stuff. Welcome to the We've Been Drinking MMA podcast, and we are talking about the UFC Nashville ESPN 50 fight between Tanner Boser and Alexa Kamur. I am going, even though Tanner is my guy, I've always liked Tanner. His striking is amazing. I'm going Kamur by decision. And there's a couple of reasons behind that, but I'm going to let my man Ro talk about this right now.
I'm also going with Kamur by decision as well, just because I think it's going to be a close fight, because Boser does the damage and Kamur has more ambidextrous with both hands. He's got good strikes with both hands versus Boser's got the right hand bomb. But I just feel like Kamur doesn't have the power to knock out a beast like Boser. That's why it's Kamur by decision for me as well.
Boser's such a tough guy, and he just wants to fight. He's in the same mindset as Kevin Holland. He wants to fight everybody.
Exactly.
He wants to get in there and just throw. That's his mind.
His mind. You can see his mindset.
That's his lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants to fight.
Yeah.
Do you have the same thinking about Boser like that?
He's a killer.
Yeah. And
he's a finisher, and that's why he's finished some tough guys. But he does have a weakness in his last 2 fights where he got taken down and controlled, and especially in his last fight where he got taken down and then just got, I don't know, it might have been an early stoppage, and I watched it again. It could have been an early stoppage, but regardless, he had...
Kudalaba?
Yeah, against Kudalaba in his last fight. But the problem is that he does have a problem with getting taken down, and, at heavyweight, he was faster than everybody. Problem is now, I think at light heavyweight,
everybody has the same footwork.
Everybody's just as fast. So all of his tricks that were working before are not working as much. And usually, what happens at 205, as we've seen with John Jones, is they have power, And then when they move up to heavyweight, these 205ers, like what he did to Cyril Gane, is they're just smarter. Because as a heavyweight, all you have to do is have that one punch power. You don't have to train your mind. But these 205ers are a lot smarter, so the IQ is a factor. And again, Bozer's fought mostly at heavyweight, and now he's back down to light heavyweight. So
yeah, Tanner was 235 as a heavyweight, which is really, really light.
In and out, knocking people out, and
his
now
footwork was like when swimmers are getting ready for swimming, like they jump in and out, like boom.
Yeah, he looked fast.
Yeah,
and now he looks average. Because everyone else is just as fast. So that's a problem right then and there. With a guy who's got a right-hand bomb and has an okay or pretty decent left jab, it's a problem when you don't have the speed advantage. Yeah. Huge problem.
And when you know what's coming, it's a problem. Mm-hmm. When the other opponent knows what's coming, it's a problem.
I mean, if you're slower than him, you get knocked out. If you're a guy who gets reckless in the first round, you get knocked out. But if you're a guy who's smart, who's fast, who can use both hands like Kamar, who's got a good, decent variety of strikes, uses left hand, right hand, can go for takedowns, can go for a leg kick from time to time. It's a guy who can confuse Boser, a guy who can give Boser different looks, a guy who makes Boser have to think. All of a sudden, you start thinking, okay, even if Boser can hurt Kamar in the fight here and there, Kamar can get his wits about him and start leg kicking, change up the game plan, go for takedowns, and then all of a sudden, it turns into a dogfight. So even if Boser wins, it's going to be a tough win, and Kamar can win a close fight, but Kamar can also pull ahead by what if he starts hitting Boser. Kamar has a better jab, in my opinion. I think he's ambidextrous. With left hand is almost just as good as Kamar's right hand. So that's something where he can hit Boser from different angles. He's he's almost just as fast. He's smart. He's young. He's 27. He's getting better from fight to fight. And these are all the reasons why Kamar by decision makes a lot of sense. The only thing is that Kamar doesn't have like that power, the experience or the power to really put an experienced boss like Boser.
Plus,
away.
I don't think. Let me check his schedule or his last fights. Did he fight anybody at all?
Well, I mean, he fought William Knight, who he lost a decision to. And he was getting kind of just taken down a lot.
His experience level against top tier guys. Like, I'm not saying Tanner's a guy, like top tier guy, but Tanner's no joke.
Resume for resume, it looks like a 50-50 fight, and it makes sense that Boser is a slight favorite, a minus 160 to make 100.
Tanner, it's a dogger pass. I changed my if you want to bet this, which I don't think I'm gonna stay away from this fight in general.
That's fine.
But if you want to bet this in general, just go dogger pass. Be a parlay piece and just go dogger pass.
Yeah. I don't know if I would put this on the parlay just because the problem is that Kamar is maybe slightly inexperienced. He hasn't fought anyone on Boser's level. So the problem is that what if Boser teaches him a lesson and TKOs him in the third because Kamar makes some fundamental errors because Kamar is coming off he's 0-2 as well in his last He's 0-2 in his last two fights. Boser's 0-2 in his
tough.
last two.
He can throw.
Yeah.
This might be a phone booth fight where it'd be a first round
I think this could easily
fight.
be a fight of the night as far as damage, as far as, trading.
Yeah.
Phone booth trading. This is the type of fight where you go, shit, maybe I shouldn't have bet on it. And definitely for a parlay, it makes more sense to kind of maybe stay away from this particular fight on a parlay even. So
because we don't know.
Yeah.
If you have a different type of scenario where
yes,
I'm gonna bet this guy, bet him.
If Kamar did a little bit more damage, I would bet him going the distance.
Yeah.
Just because I know he can keep Boser off him. But if you're not doing enough damage, you can't keep a beast like Boser off you. Boser
if you can take down people and you have power against Tanner Boser in general, I think you're gonna have so much.
Yeah, then we would go Kamar money line then, because then Kamar could maybe easily take him down and ground and pound him, and he could finish him in different ways. But
that's not the case here.
It's not the case here. No. And then if you look at the stats, Boser has a 1.5 reach advantage, 1 inch height advantage for Boser. Strike count is pretty similar. It's around 4 for each guy.
Tanner's my guy, though.
Yeah. So
I've always liked Tanner.
Stats wise, Boser
I'm so happy he's fighting. I can't wait for this fight.
How about this? Boser's never been in a boring fight.
No.
Never. He's like he's a fun fighter. He's like the Gaethje of the light heavyweight.
Yeah, it's so great.
He's fun. He's fun, and I think Boser was one of those guys. Just on a side note, that he likes to entertain. He likes to go for finishes. So
he'll take any fight anytime.
Dude, yeah. I mean, he might not have the most perfect defense, but he does try and get out of the way at the right time. But it might not be the perfect defense, but he's there to fight.
Yeah,
and that's why we love to watch him fight.
He's not there to lay and pray. No, he's ready to throw.
Yep.
And go.
Yep. We love watching him fight, guys. So yeah, this fight is probably going to be staying away from it. But if Comer by decision is, let's say, plus 250, something really really good price, maybe a small bet on that. But it's one of those fights. We're gonna probably keep it off the parlay, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm probably not touching this fight.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So thanks guys for listening. Like, subscribe, comment. Appreciate you.
We like that stuff. Please do. Thank you. Welcome to the We've Been Drinking MMA podcast. We are talking about the UFC ESPN 50 at Nashville. And the fight we are specifically talking about is Diego Lopez versus Gavin Tucker. I'm going Diego Lopez money line. And the reason I'm talking about it is because this guy's ready to fight. Like, every time I see him fight, even though he's a younger cat, like, he just wants to throw.
He's fun to watch fight.
Like, and with Gavin Tucker, he's more about throwing a little bit and then getting the takedown.
5'6", kind of short.
Getting in that pocket, throwing a couple punches, and then
right.
Holding on to you and then tripping you and holding, like, getting a win that way. Like, that's what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but, like...
It's about right. I mean, he's got some heavy strikes, but it's
like,
mostly...
the wins he has... I'm sorry to interrupt. It's been submissions.
Yep.
And the way people get submitted is by getting taken down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I believe Gavin actually has a whole bunch of takedowns per fight. Like, 3 to 4 round there. But, like, Diego's no slouch either.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's taking down people either, but, like, his... I think this is going to be a phone booth throwing type fight, and I think this is going to be Diego by decision.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm going with Diego is who I'm thinking about. But I'm not going to bet him just because I'm afraid, because he has been controlled on the ground. In both his UFC fights, even though they were 4 fights apart, because he went in, or 3. Was it? Yeah, 4 fights apart. His last fight was in the UFC, and then 4 fights ago he fought on the Contender Series, and he got controlled on the ground in both fights. And that's the only thing about him is that I think if he can stuff Gavin Tucker's takedowns, which is possible because Diego has a 6.5-inch reach advantage. If he can use that reach, if he can keep the distance, if he can be smart and not rush in and get taken down, which I think he is smart. I think he does have really good shot selection. I think he can punch on the run. He can do a lot of really, really cool things as a striker. I think he can be smart, and that's what I'm looking for is to maybe live bet Diego Lopez. As long as he can stuff the takedowns and keep the distance, he'll be fine. Because Tucker doesn't have the striking to keep up with Lopez.
Even though I think Lopez is going to win the fight, I have a real inkling, like, you should live bet. If it goes to the 3rd round...
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Because Lopez and Tucker are both really, really slow starters.
Mm-hmm.
I would wait. If this goes to a 3rd round, whoever's a favorite in that 3rd round, just bet the blazes out of it.
Diego 2 fights ago had a KO in the 2nd round. In the 3 fights ago, he had a KO in the 3rd. He gets better as the fight goes on.
Yes.
To your point. And the other guy, Tucker, has a submission in the 3rd round. Two submissions in the 3rd round in the last 4 fights. He beat Quarantillo 2 fights ago by decision. So, he's no slouch, and that's why it makes sense to live bet it too, is that, again, Tucker has the experience. Lopez is the kind of up-and-comer, 28 years old, young, and Tucker's 37 years old. But, again, all the attributes goes to Lopez. 5'11" versus 5'6", 6.5-inch reach advantage. Strike count is...
Tucker is a UFC veteran.
Yep. Takedowns is the only X factor for me. That's it.
Yes. Takedowns,
so just be careful about that.
Just be wary if he's taken him down like 2 times in the first and then another couple of times in the second. Like, you think 3rd round's gonna be different? I don't think so.
But Lopez improving from fight to fight.
But like, if he's starting to, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Like, if he's stuffing like at least a couple of those takedowns, I think Lopez's striking is going to be an X factor.
As long as Lopez, because Lopez is good at punching on the run, which is impressive, but if he punches on the run too much against a guy who can duck under and take you down, that's bad. So if Lopez, if his coach tells him, hey, don't just rush in and punch on the run, even though you can, don't do it, because if you do it, you're going to get taken down. And he switches to more of a guy who is trying to keep the distance, use the jab more, maybe punch to the body, things like this that can keep the distance more. then it's like by the third round, it's going to be Lopez's fight. So, and then also if Tucker is, gassing and things like this in the third because of the Lopez striking him. But also, yeah, Tucker is a southpaw, which also makes it awkward for Lopez. Lopez is orthodox. So, all these factors just, I think it's just smart. It's just try and be smart about what Lopez's game plan is. Because if it is to punch on the run and just do whatever, it might be a rough night for him. So to make sure that he's just doing smart with the distance control and stuff in the takedowns, and then probably I'm going to get the bet in maybe, like you said, in the third.
Yeah.
On Lopez.
So my pick is Diego Lopez money line, and what is yours, Ro? Did you have one?
I'm going for Lopez, but I want to go for a live bet to make sure that
live bet third.
Yeah, live bet possibly third round, just to make sure that he can stuff the takedowns and be smart with the striking.
I like control. It. So please, if you like what we are saying, please like, subscribe, and comment on what we are saying. So thanks, everybody.
Welcome. We've been drinking MMA. We are breaking down the Sandhagen Font fight card, UFC on ESPN 50. This is the fourth fight on the card here. Dustin Jacoby versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. I think I got it right.
That's good to me.
That's pretty good.
I'm just going to go with Kennedy.
I'm going with Kennedy.
Kennedy versus Jacob here.
Here we go.
And I'm going Kennedy. I think it's going to be a landslide lock victory here.
He's minus 165. Kennedy is favorite, $165.
That's really surprising. Put your money in right now.
I'm going Kennedy as well, picking Kennedy. He's got a 7-inch reach advantage.
Is this two different, I wanted to say, Jacoby is, not a UFC fighter, but, Kennedy is, just on a different wavelength. It just, maybe I'm wrong about this, but,
no,
I just think there's, a different tier of striking that's going to be coming in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kennedy's going to be coming for the win, and Dustin's going to be, testing range and I'm gonna give my, after a couple of volume strikes, I'm gonna get my big shot at. I don't think that's the way to win in this fight.
It's one of those fights where I think Jacoby's got a straight right hand. That's his weapon.
Yes.
His leg kicks are
really good.
His leg kicks used to be really good. Last two fights though, he's not been throwing them like he used to. He could be going through injuries. You never know. But at the same time, 2 fights in a row, he's his leg kicks are not as confident. His punches not confident really in punching. The straight right is here and there. It's against Roundtree 2 fights ago, he wasn't throwing enough. In his last fight against Murzakanov, who Murzakanov is undefeated, but Jacoby just did not have a good performance, man. He wasn't throwing enough strikes. His strikes when he did throw were in my opinion just not up to par. And Kennedy on the other hand is on the rise, we think.
Kennedy is a different wavelength at striking.
And the proof
just goes for the win.
The proof is that what's his name? Jacoby is on a 2-fight losing streak. Kennedy's on a 3-fight win streak.
Yes.
I think
and I believe they are all finishes.
Yeah, submission, KO.
Yeah.
Against respectable, really, really, really good fighters, high level. Ian Kudalaba 2 fights ago with a KO with a flying knee and punches against the fence in the second round, and then Devin Clark submitted him in the second round, which is not easy to submit Devin Clark, man.
No, he's
really
tough.
Good on the ground, smart fighter, Devin Clark. And I think the reason they made this fight, and we're kind of getting it for a steal, is because Jacoby knocked out a guy named Dawoon Jung 3 fights ago, and Kennedy got knocked out, KO'd by Dawoon Jung about 5 fights ago back in 2021. So that's kind of the intriguing thing is that Jacoby knocked out the guy that knocked out Kennedy. However, it was 5 fights ago, it happens, and Kennedy is now just on a rise, on a tear. His striking, it's one of those fighters where Jacoby has the one right hand really, that's his weapon, and Kennedy has both hands. He's got knees, kicks, and I usually like to favor the guy
his kicks or his knees are you just don't see him coming.
Yeah, and I like a fighter who can fight with both hands.
Yes,
that's huge in a fight that you're not sure about. Usually that's the
you
fighter
don't know
who
where
wins.
It's going to come from.
Yeah, it's oh man, his left or his right, they're both good. Okay, then that's usually the guy in a fight where you're not sure about who's going to win the fight. A guy who can fight with both arms. So
I think Kennedy first round is not unreasonable to think here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Kennedy by KO in the first. I think if I can get a good price on that, he's minus 165. So any way you want him, Kennedy's a great bet here. Kennedy straight up on the money line. Kennedy by KO. Kennedy by KO in the first. I mean, if it's paying enough.
But Jacob P is a tough guy, so wouldn't it be unreasonable to be like Kennedy just to win in general?
Yeah.
Because Dustin does not get taken out that much.
So offensively, we're giving a huge edge to Kennedy. The problem is defensively, even that, where Jacoby used to be good with distance control. Again, 2 fights ago, it wasn't as good. 1 fight ago, his last fight against Murzaganov, I feel like he was getting hit by a lot of little punches and just stuff where he should have been out of the way, and he just wasn't reacting quick enough. And I just feel like his defense just isn't up to par anymore either. So defensively, I think Kennedy is even better than him right now as far as distance control. On top of that, Kennedy's finish rate is unbelievable. Other than his first 2 fights in 2017, where he went to decision, other than those 2 first fights, all of his wins are by finish and only 1 decision. So he's a finish machine. And he finishes in different ways. It's not just one style of finisher.
Kennedy inside the distance is not unreasonable.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Inside the distance makes a lot of sense in general for this fight, just because it's like, well, maybe Jacoby has a style, and if he does, then he can maybe
take
out
advantage
Kennedy.
Of that style.
Yeah, maybe he does do something, so maybe inside the distance,
So does Jacoby have any shot to win this fight? Like any shot?
I mean, the only shot is that the history that he knocked out the guy that knocked out Kennedy, so maybe for that reason you just end up betting.
He studies that fight, like what made him get knocked out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Jacoby and Da Woon Jung, or they have the punch power. So maybe that's where Jacoby thinks that he can kind of just emulate that the way that Jung knocked out Kennedy. But I think Kennedy is really smart with the distance control. I think Kennedy can knock you out in different ways, from flying knees to punches. And his last fight against Devin Clark, he submitted him. He decided, okay, Devin Clark wants to fight near the fence. I'll take him to the fence, and I'll just elbow and put my forearm, throw my forearm on his head and just beat Devin Clark a lot, beat him up good against the fence with those elbows and forearms and just throwing anything that was landing. And then he eventually got him down and submitted him.
His IQ is...
Yeah, able to get
different from other players.
Even if Jacoby gets, let's say, get a takedown, Kennedy's actually really gotten better at creating space and getting up off the ground, like he showed against Devin Clark. So there's just so many ways for Kennedy to win. The confidence, just all the different, strikes in his arsenal. The distance control is better than Jacoby. I think he kind of has it all over Jacoby. And like we were saying, Kennedy's on the rise. Jacoby's is on a 2-fight losing streak. So
Kennedy for the win.
Kennedy for the win.
Welcome to the We've Been Drinking MMA podcast. We are talking about the UFC ESPN 50 Nashville fight between the Tatiana Suarez and the Jessica Andrade. And I'm going Tatiana for the win.
Yeah, she's a minus 400 favorite, $400 to make 100, and I'm also picking Tatiana Suarez.
And if you want to do a prop, do submission, because I think she's going to take her down and ragdoll her a little bit and then get the submission. The way she is fighting, even though there was a huge layoff for Suarez before the Montana fight, the way she absolutely destroyed Montana, in my opinion, stop me if I'm wrong, but I think she dominated that fight.
She did.
It wasn't like a surprise, like, oh my God, I take her down and then all of a sudden submit. I think she was controlling that fight from beginning to end. Am I wrong? About that?
She did. She was amazing.
So even though Andrade is a different type of level as far as talent, I don't see this fight going any different. First round, punch, couple takedowns, I don't think a submission is going to happen in the first round, but I think Tatiana's going to control this whole fight.
Just the record is amazing. Tatiana Suarez is undefeated, 10-0, with 5 subs and 2 TKOs. 7 finishes with only 3 decisions, and by the way, one of the decisions was her first fight. Got to cut her some slack. So in reality, her real record, her record after that first fight is 9 wins, with 7 finishes and 2 decisions. I mean, the girl can finish people.
Yeah.
And it's because she's dominant. Like she's
strong.
It's not just like, oh, takedown and then just stay in a guard. It's like dominant takedowns by so many different angles that she uses, from single legs to a body lock to staying heavy on the person to duck under takedowns. She'll throw like a little fake punch, let you throw a wild strike, and then duck under takedowns like GSP used to do. And then Tatiana, will finish on the ground. She TKO'd Carla Esparza, who is the 115-pound former lost the belt last fight. But Tatiana Suarez TKO'd Esparza. It's crazy. By taking her down and
that's not easy to do.
TKOing Esparza. I mean, Esparza is a 2-time champion at 115 in the UFC, and Suarez just
she's
dominated.
A scrapper. She don't care.
She's an amazing fighter, and she beat Rose Namajunas. I mean, regardless if it was a boring fight, it's like she beat her, and that's insane. So that means that Esparza has been leveling up the whole time, and Suarez dominated her. She dominated the current 125-pound champion Grasso with a submission in the submitted her in the second round, I think. So. First round submission, 2 minutes and 44 seconds. 4 fights ago against Alexa Grasso, the current 125-pound champion, submitted her.
In 2018, yes.
2018. So She had a 4-year layoff, and that's
because of her knee.
Yeah, knee injury. But like she looked great in her last fight. She came back and submitted Montana De La Rosa, who is a good fighter, and submitted her in the second round. Dominated with those types of duck under takedowns, staying heavy on the fence and then going for takedowns at the right times, and then submitting her rear naked choke, I think. So basically the way that we think the fight's going to go, we talked about, is that Suarez is a woman who comes out with kicks, because she knows you can't take her down, so why even throw punches and risk the getting knocked out? Just throw kicks. Keep the distance. She throws kicks to the body, and she'll eventually throw some fake punches and wait for you to throw a punch, and then duck under takedown is her main strategy. She can lean against you in the fence and stay in the clinch and then take you down from there from many different ways, from singles to doubles to body locks. So many ways to take people down, submit, TKO people on the ground. Andrade is just basically a person who throws a lot of hooks.
Yes.
All hooks.
The way Andrade's ways of victory is by aggression and full volume and just going straight forward toward Suarez, not being technical, just straight trying to catch her, straight trying to power punches, just straight going forward.
The reason I think that's very, very unlikely, and the reason I am very confident in this bet, is that, number one, Suarez is just elite, 10-0, undefeated. And then on top of that, 4-inch reach advantage.
Yes.
And on top of that, Suarez is really smart. She just doesn't throw punches. Like, she likes to throw kicks because she knows why take. That's why she's undefeated, is because she knows that if she throws punches, she has a chance to get countered and get knocked out. So what does she do? She's smart.
Do you think I'm wrong about the Andrade aggression?
Listen, Andrade can stuff a lot of takedowns, and she's really good at getting up off the ground. So that's dangerous against a person like Suarez.
The aggression and her bowling ball style of throwing punches.
Yeah, a hook. I mean, can finish anybody.
That's the only way of victory is aggression and throwing.
And Andrade likes to go forward, so that's always dangerous. But the thing that danger is exactly why Suarez is going to get, I think, an getting
countered and taken down.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Like, Suarez is going to throw some kicks, annoy Andrade a little bit, then throw some fake punches, let Andrade throw the hooks, duck under takedown. Suarez is very quick, in the pocket with getting those takedowns, and it's going to look impressive. 4-inch height advantage for Suarez, 4-inch reach advantage. Suarez is a southpaw, so it's even more weird for Andrade to try and knock out a person in a left-handed stance. 6 takedowns a fight for Suarez, bro.
6.
That's crazy.
Andrade just has under 3. 6 is a different type of story here.
On top of that, Andrade's on a 2-fight losing streak. And she just got submitted 2 fights ago by Erin Blanchfield in the second round by a choke.
Yeah. That was incredible.
On the ground. It's like, bro, if Blanchfield can take you down, Suarez is a little bit smarter than Blanchfield as far as using kicks more than punches, and then she'll go for the duck under takedowns. Got KO'd in the first round in the first 2 minutes and 20 seconds by
Jan.
Yep, Jan Zionan. And that was just a classic, Andrade throwing hooks and just got caught by a straight puncher. Straight punch just got her, and flash knockdown, it was over. So yeah, she's not gonna be as confident, man. And if you're not confident going against a champion, a true championship quality fighter in Suarez, if you're not at your best, that's basically you lose because
she
of that.
is undefeated, but
yeah,
this is gonna be a test for the undefeated mark. So if she can beat Andrade like no problems, she might be like a top 5 fighter, top 3 fighter here in her division here, going for the belt type stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Fighting Blanchfield.
This is the fight, and then
Yeah.
you go fight Blanchfield as grappler versus grappler. Suarez has a great
That's an
chance.
interesting fight, by the way.
Suarez has a great chance because Blanchfield needs the takedowns, and Suarez is, I think, a better wrestler, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great matchup for Suarez. And then so Suarez could then. So yeah, no, it's Andrade Suarez. It's a great test for Suarez to show that Suarez is in contention for real to get the shot at the belt.
Yes, because Andrade can throw and
good takedown defense, and
Yeah.
it's not an easy fight from what Andrade. I mean, Andrade is the champion at this was it this weight class, right? So she knocked out Rose
the strawweight.
with the strawweight. She picked up Rose and threw her on her head.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so
that's what she did, though.
that's what she did, though, and it's funny to talk about because it was like, wow, that's a weird way to get a belt, but she's a champion, man. She's got a fighting spirit. And even though she got knocked out quickly in her last fight, this is not that type of a fight. And so this is going to be interesting. But I do think that Suarez handles her easily. Just the style matchup, Andrade throwing hooks. And hooks are slow. Even if it's fast, a hook is much slower than a straight punch. Right, a person like a straight puncher like Zionan or something versus Suarez would be harder for Suarez to take her down because a straight punch and then you can get out of the way again. But hooks, you have to commit. And when you commit with a hook, you're out of position. You're out of position when you throw that hook because it's such a circular punch.
Yes.
You know that it takes more time and you're out of position, and then right then and there you can get taken down. So that's why I think the style matchup is great for Suarez.
Andrade's gonna get taken down and controlled, and
Yeah.
I think this Suarez is gonna win this fight. I'm
excited to put her on the parlay.
Yes.
Suarez, just money line even.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Suarez for the win. Like,
go.
subscribe, comment. Please let us know how we're doing. Thank you.
Welcome. We've been drinking MMA. We're breaking down the main event, Sandhagen versus Font, UFC on ESPN 50, and my pick is Cory Sandhagen.
Cory Sandhagen by landslide moneyline victory.
Minus 330. I think he's gotten a little bit more expensive. I think he was minus 300 last time I checked, so $330 to make 100.
I think Sandhagen would be a fool to actually box with Font. But, like, if Sandhagen's a smart IQ MMA, he's a full all-around MMA fighter. So he's going to take him to the mats, and he's going to control this fight.
Yeah, he's kind of a complete fighter. I mean, he can go for takedowns. He can go for punches on the run. He feints when he punches. That's why he's probably the best striker in this division. Just striker for striker, you know. The only other guy who's close to him is O'Malley. But O'Malley has a little bit more spinning attacks and just a little bit more flashy and more KO power. But Sandhagen, if you want to choose who you want to fight like, it'd probably be more like a guy like Sandhagen because his feints, you know, he fights a little bit like Israel Adesanya. Maybe not as slick, but the feints that he sets up his punches with, the shot selection, very smart and calculated. Versus O'Malley is just an absolute kind of like such a talented fighter.
Yeah, and also his
Sandhagen technical.
Very, very tactical, all-around MMA fighter.
Just thinker out there.
Yeah, his
Great
IQ
thinker.
is amazing. His last fight, he just beat Marlon Chito Vera. It was a split decision, but he did everything in that fight. He took him down.
Yeah.
He threw punches against him. Like, it's not like he doesn't know how to throw.
And he didn't really.
kicks.
He wasn't really afraid of Vera.
No.
Which I would assume most people would be thinking about. Damn, Cheeto has that one punch power.
Full on B-rabbit running around He's not that type
Dude,
of fighter.
Sandhagen said what he was gonna do. He said Cheeto has the power, but I have the I'm the best technical striker, and he showed it. I mean, you don't win like that against Cheeto Vera unless you have really, really, truly elite, great technical striking. It was a masterclass. We haven't seen a performance like that was so one-sided in a top 5 fighter versus top 5 fighter fight in that division. I think that was the best.
It was a fun fight to watch.
It was like, wow, that's how you strike. I learned how to
Vera
watching him.
As far as striking goes, not the same, but like Font's the same type of striker as Vera
likes to get messy.
Yeah, he likes to throw.
Get in there and throw.
Like, he's much more of a boxer.
Yeah,
like, Font's much more of a boxer than Vera. But, like, this is going to be an interesting fight if Sandhagen just wants to keep it up. Like, he doesn't want to take him down. He doesn't want to grapple with him.
Yeah, I think the difference is Sandhagen's variety. Not only does
kicks.
Kicks, the feints, the punches with the left and right hand. Font, for me, is got a good, strong right hand, power right hand. That's what was great. Is that normally on the stance on ESPN they'll either say orthodox for righties and then southpaw for lefties, but literally Sandhagen's stance it says switch.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That
for
shows
me, the side don't matter.
I've never seen that. I've never seen a stance on ESPN saying switch. That just shows you how much of a complete striker. I think they saw the fight with Vera and they said, let's give it to him. He's too good at switching stances. So, for me, Font is kind of more of a basic puncher where he's got a really great jab with his left hand and that he throws that a lot. And he's really learned and he's evolved to just use that jab a lot. Versus before, he would kind of be in some back and forth fights and he would go use his right hand, his power, and then he'd get in some exchanges. You hit me, I hit you, 50-50 fights. And now he's become more of a complete, or not complete, but he's become a much better fighter and got a big win streak together before his last couple losses. But those were close losses that he usually could have won against Chito Vera and Jose Aldo, the legend Jose Aldo. But before that he had a nice little 4-fight win streak, and it's because he started using that jab a lot.
Sandhagen is in his prime, and he's just in the beginning of his 30s. Font's on his mid to late 30s right now, so. That might be a little bit of an issue, but Font's no joke. Like, Sandhagen shouldn't sleep on Font.
This is a great main event fight.
Yes.
Because of the strike count. Like, they both throw a lot of strikes.
Volume.
Over, six strikes landed per minute for both fighters. It should be very, very fun to watch. Like we said, Font is mainly a puncher, got the power right hand. He knocked out.
Much more of a boxer.
Yeah, coming off a knockout win against Adrian Yanez, who we had a lot of respect for, and we still do.
Jeez.
But Yanez was dangerous with the combination punches, and Font put that to rest by using the jab and then just power punching at the right times, using the angle, ducks to the left, and then just, big right hand and knocked him down.
Different tier on this fight, though.
Huge different tier, because Sandhagen is not just going to stand in front of you at all. You can see the stance, it says switch, because that's what he does. Always switching stances, always, being smart about it, not putting his head in harm's way. Very, very tactical, smart. And that's the type of fighter that can beat someone like Font. Is a guy who can use better tactics, because Font, again, tactics is smart. Use the left jab a lot, like he throws it a lot, and then when he sees a good opening, throw the punch to the body, throw a punch to the power punch to the head, some leg kicks here and there. Strong and solid and basic, but he's got that jab that he uses a lot. But Sandhagen is one of those fighters where. He can do everything that Font can do, but he can do it with feints. He can do it with more speed. He can do it from more angles. He can kind of get to the left, get to the right quicker. Got some more leg kicks. Got the takedowns. A lot of things he's got over Font. But that's what makes this an intriguing fight. Is the strike count, and so that's what we're excited for. That's why I'm going with Sandhagen by decision. Is what I'm gonna bet. Because that'll be cheaper than minus 330, which is expensive, and then but for a parlay, just Sandhagen money line. Add him on the money line for the
Sandhagen for the win. I think there's no brainer. Thank you. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell us how we're doing. Thanks, everybody.